Happy Wednesday. We're
Happy
back.
Wednesday.
We're back. We went on a accidental hiatus.
It was like spring break 2 weeks ago.
Yep. So I was the one who bailed spring break 2 weeks ago because I was like, hey, it's spring break and we're going to see my parents and I'm traveling on Wednesday, so I can't. And then last Wednesday,
Last Wednesday, I did.
I log on and I hop into our StreamYard, and it's getting probably around 12:55, about to start. I'm like, oh man, he's pushing a little tight. Must be a busy day today. So I go to check on him, and I happen to notice that there is a Laravel live stream going on, and so I just hop in and said, "Oh, you're just busy with work. That's fine.
Yeah,
I get it." Josh here, just building a fun game with Leah on the Laravel live stream.
Yeah, it turned out like I thought like the only thing we had to talk about was like it's gonna be like maybe an hour and a half. It turned out to be like a 2.5 hour stream. So it was good. It was just like there was no good stopping point by the time I realized what time it was.
Get it. The full-time job always has to take precedent. Always does. I see, but I had to hop in. I had to hop in on the live and just razz you a little bit. I was like, okay, cool. I see how it is. Like, I guess we're not doing Riff and Refine today.
I guess 1 week turns to 2 weeks, and then it's like 2 weeks is good. 2 weeks is a good time off.
Yeah, it is now an official break. We meant to do it, definitely.
Although I will be out of town next week, so.
Oh, that's fine. It happens. So maybe I'll find a guest or something. Maybe old Jeffy here in the.
Yeah.
What's up, Jeff? Good to see you, bud.
Some good things that Jeff can talk about. Jeff, back.
Isra, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Isra, Peak and Flow. How are you?
Great to have you today.
Yeah, I love seeing a bunch of chats. And baby is doing good. First baby I have had. Knock on all the wood. Fingers crossed. Pray to God that this is the first baby I've had that has like slept consistently.
Oh,
since
that, my friend, is born. A gift. Our number 3 was a sleeper as well. I don't know what it is about number 3 kids, but I guess it's like just since conception they are used to noise all around them, so they just figure it out.
That's what it is. Baby 1 and baby 2 did not sleep for us until about 2 years old through the night consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And now this baby is like from 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. until like 5 a.m. And then she'll go back to sleep for another hour or two. It is amazing.
It is incredible. Absolutely incredible. The difference between like a baby who doesn't sleep and a baby who does sleep is like the difference between having a happy marriage and being like, we're struggling. You know,
like I used to just assume
relationships than being sleepy.
100%. I used to just assume that when I would go, because I stay up later to do like work, because I prefer being up later than waking up earlier. So I used to just assume when I would go to bed at 2 a.m., 2:30, that my wife had already been up for a couple hours, maybe because like maybe I didn't hear the baby or she was crying. And so I every time in the morning be like, hey, sorry it was a rough night. Even if I didn't know, I would just be like, hey, sorry it was a rough night. And like in the past couple months, it's been like actually like they slept until like 6 a.m. Like,
oh, that sounds really
nice. Good for you.
That's fantastic. Oh, we love it. So other than getting to have a sleepy baby, what have you been up to?
Yeah, the past couple of weeks,
Oh,
have been fun. I have gotten to do some build some like fun little projects, both in at work, but then also like on the side.
ooh,
I think I had said this a couple of weeks ago. I started playing around with. I think you had mentioned it on the show too. The computer vision. It was
yes.
like, hey, this community slash course slash GitHub repo
Yep.
slash just fun people doing fun things with Vision API. So I built like this fun little one that like recognizes faces, and then
Mhm,
like
mhm. I
and
remember
then
you
like
mentioning doing this for your church. Is that what
yeah,
you did?
yeah. So I'm still been working on it. So it's a fun one to be like, okay, like let me work on this, or like have Claude work on it, have Codex work on it, and just like
Heck yeah,
get
dude.
to enjoy the benefits, the fruits of it. So that's been fun. Been doing a little bit more like music stuff. Had a
Mhm.
birthday, so I like
Oh,
it
happy
was a fun
birthday, man.
fun couple
What are
weeks.
we now?
I
30,
am 32 years old.
32,
32.
32.
I
That's
feel like we're
awesome.
the same age, right?
Yeah, no, we're off
No.
just a little bit. I turned 33 last
Okay.
August,
So
so
you're
not too far off. Just about a year and a half.
92, baby. 90,
I was
92.
92, baby.
92, baby.
Allie's a 93 baby.
Nice.
So
94, baby
she
here.
she just turned 32 back in September.
Israel says
That
last of the
little
bunch is
period,
always still.
yeah, that
I
little
don't know if
period
this is
from August to September every year,
yeah,
It's Allie's favorite time of year because she's like,
so
you're
old.
so old." Like, I'm 2 years
Cougar.
older than her for just, like, a month, and it's like,
Yeah,
that's her favorite joke,
there you
is
go.
that she likes to, like, mess with me. Jeff, there's no way you are 40.
40?
No way,
No
dude.
way. Dude, even like your profile picture, you look like you're 20, dude.
Well, his profile picture might actually be from when
From
he
what
was
you
in high school. There it is very possible. Goodness gracious.
Oh,
But
it's April.
no, like, we just hung out, at ValioCon last September. There's no chance you're turning 40, dude.
Dude, that's crazy.
That is
See,
wild.
I feel 32. I feel like I feel my age. I feel like I look my age, dude.
Yeah, there's definitely, like, the oh, what's his face? Brian Johnson or whatever, that's like,
Yeah,
"What's
yeah.
your actual, like, your body age or whatever?" I'm like, "Man, like, maybe a decade older than what I am right now."
Yeah.
Like, I've got small children, you don't understand.
Speaking of though, I saw that you're like you had like been you're speaking of like body health. I guess it's a good transition. Like I saw you posted that you were like under
Yes.
200 pounds, like for the first time
Dude,
since like eighth grade.
yeah, well, yeah, it's been like that's like my favorite joke is like I don't ever like I can't remember the last time I saw a 1 on a scale, but like at the start. Um but yeah, the what's so funny is I was like it doesn't matter. Allie commented and was like, "Yeah,
Just shot it down.
this is fake news. Like you were just like had the stomach bug the last day." And I was like, "It doesn't matter. It
That
counts. It
counts.
definitely counts."
It definitely counts.
I haven't weighed since then because I don't want to, like, face the music that I was literally, like, 199.8, so it's like, "Oh, yeah, there's definitely a chance that, like, for the rest of the week that I'm not back under 200, but
I feel that. I
like,
hate that
that's just, like, how
about
it works." Yeah.
I use the macro factor app for like weighing
Mhm.
myself and like for tracking things. And I hate that it does the proper way of weighing yourself. When like you weigh yourself, it will say like, oh, you're probably actually around this based off of the last
Ugh,
10 days you weighed. So like I
that
hate when I weigh
I've
myself.
never heard of that. That sounds so rude. Like, how dare you? I don't wanna know what I actually am. I wanna know how much I am right now.
Yeah, when it's like, oh yeah, I dropped 5 pounds from yesterday. It's like, you're probably 3 pounds above that or whatever
Right, yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
I need to do that. Well, because I was just about to make that comment, which was just like I like at one point, I guess it was like when we were right before we had Davis. So yeah, a little over 2 years ago, I was like 315 pounds and have been like have lost all of that. And it is very
That's
true where
crazy.
it's like if you look at it over time, like yeah, it's just like a steady downhill. But if you like zoom in, it's like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
whole
It
way.
is crazy.
And so like that's like the most like that was the hardest thing to adjust to when I started it was just oh yeah, like I may get down to a weight and be like, oh yeah, and then I'll be like 5 pounds heavier for like the next week. But then I will eventually get back down to that weight
You'll
and
even
lower
itself out.
like consistently. So it's like
Yeah.
anytime I see a number now, I'm like, okay, that's not how much I weigh, but like I know that I'm on the path to getting there in a couple weeks to where that's like at least my baseline.
That's why they always say that like you should just base off like what you see. Like it's better best scale is like your mirror instead of the actual numbers. Because if you think about it like every day, you're like, oh yeah, I didn't lose any pounds today. But then you look over like a month, you're like, oh yeah, I did.
Dude, I love this. A scale that just is
Just
like makes fun of you.
in the world of AI, that like stuff like that is probably that's like my first topic, but we'll get to it a little bit. In the world of AI, I feel like that's like the next thing is like actual honest fun stuff instead of just like analytical
Yeah,
things.
yeah. This also,
Awesome.
congrats,
Congrats,
man.
Carl. That's awesome.
Carl, with this the full decade. You can officially say I've been married for a decade.
That is
That's
crazy.
me and Allie this November. This is like our
Really?
10-year as well. So
Congrats. I'll
not
have to think of
until the
how
end
many
of the
years it
year,
is for
but
me.
this cracks me up where I'm like, this is the most Carl thing that I've ever heard. Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, Carl, of course Carl got married on April Fool's
Of
Day.
course. I think it will be 7 years for me. In July. Uh, which is
That's
kind of
awesome.
crazy. After
You're on a faster track than I
2019, yeah,
was.
7 years.
You had
There you
number
go.
3 before you, what was it, before 7? So you're on 6
4
currently?
7. Yep.
Yeah.
Number
We
3
were
by
on
6.
we were on year 7 when we had Davis, but
There you go.
pretty you and me, man,
We're very
we're like
we're very similar.
very
That's why
similar life paths, and I love
we
it.
we we, we picked a horrible duo to do a show of like
I I
we don't have
keep
any like hot
It's
takes.
so funny because when I listen to Mostly Technical, I'm just like, well, of course their show is like so great because they could not be more different just in personality, like they're literally polar opposites, but they both love like technology and Laravel, so it works. And like we're the opposite, where it's like we as like personalities have so much in common, but we like such different stuff that it makes it like
Yep.
really it's like I like to think that it's interesting in that way.
Yep. I feel like our bread and butter is also like the live. Like having you all in the comments, it's like so helpful because it's then it's a podcast, but it's a show.
Oh, it's a show. It's a
It's a
show.
joke
I know that
sometimes.
you suddenly stared putting things in the podcast feed, but until that, like last week,
We
it's
were
so
only a show. Yeah. What do you mean? Like they're all backdated. We've been doing this for like
yeah, yeah.
since
You
August.
backdated them? Oh heck yeah, dude. We'll look so legit now from instead of dropping 30 all at one time.
Yeah, yeah.
This is always all right, Jeff. I'm gonna razz you for a minute. You've been married for 10 years, but you were together for 19. That
It's a
has
long
always
time.
been the most flabbergasting thing. Now, you're gonna then come back and be like, "Oh, well, like we dated all throughout high school or something. Like we were high school hearts or
Yeah,
like
since like
I don't know, something like
5 years
that."
old
But
or whatever.
I me and Allie, we literally started, and it could just be because when we started dating my
Yeah.
senior year of college,
Okay.
and like within a month and a half, I was like, "Yeah, girl, I can't. We're not gonna be dating very long. Like, I'm gonna ask you to marry me like this year. Like, I know
Yeah.
already. Like, I went literally month 2 of us dating. I bought our like engagement ring,
There you
and
go.
I was just like, when you know, you know. I can't imagine being together with somebody for 9 years and not be married to them. How do you do it, Jeff? I don't get
Yeah,
it.
like how did you do it? You're like razzing him, but then also like, how did you do it?
Yeah,
They met at the
I don't
hospital shortly
understand. They met at the hospital shortly after.
I have heard like I know this probably happens all the time, but I do know um from an acquaintance. I know my cousin has a friend that they um were like like childhood sweethearts kind of thing like that since
Mhm.
they were like 3 years old, but they
Okay.
didn't know until like they were got married that they actually were born like because they knew that they had the same birthday, but they were born in the
Right.
same hospital.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
Fated. Literally
I know.
fated since birth. That is the wildest thing I've ever heard. Also, like, I get this. I get this. Me and
Sure.
Allie, it's like it was our personality to be like all in on something. And for some people, like you just need the slow burn. Okay, here we
Yeah,
go. Life was complex. I didn't have my doubts. That is also fair. Like I
I
totally
feel
get
that.
like it doesn't make sense to lock our lives down together because of situations going on. So,
Yeah,
obviously
especially
I'm
like
just messing with you. Everyone's situation's different. It's just
especially
like
like long distance or like if
Yeah,
you're,
me and Allie
you
did
know,
long distance for, like, half of a year, and I was just like, "Man, this is too much talking." Like,
yeah. I
it was
I
literally my,
did
like,
I
least
did the same thing where like we
skillful
kind of
thing.
had known each other since high school, but we didn't date in high school. And so when we started dating, she was a senior in and junior in college, and I had just graduated. So like we did long distance, but it was 2.5 hours. So it was like the 2.5 hours away of like, okay, I drove 2.5 hours at least twice a week to go see her kind of thing. So that was a long time. That was very draining on me.
Oh, yeah. No, that sounds it's just so rough, and it's so funny now where it's like, I literally spend every second of every day almost with you, like, I can't imagine the time when, like, we were never around each other.
Yeah.
So
It
wild.
is
Anything
wild
else
to think
that you've
about.
been up to, old Josh?
Yeah. I don't think so. I think that is pretty much it. Um, yeah. I been doing some more just some more like music stuff. So like
Oh, love it.
building things. A lot of the stuff that I want to show on the show today are like more music things that I either
Nice.
saw or like we're thinking of. Things I'm like, oh, I'm gonna now that I have a little bit of like some gift cards for my birthday. I'm like, maybe I'll start spending a bunch of money. Yeah. What about you? What was the last couple of weeks looking like for you?
Last couple weeks have been very busy, like, busy in, like, just, like, all dimensions
There you go.
because I had the spring break that one week. We went to Athens and oh man, it was just so much fun. I love going to see
Mm,
my parents. I love like my home. It's fun being in a place that you like grew up in if you don't
no.
live there anymore because it's just like nostalgia just like punches you in the face and it's so nice. But we went to this we took the kids to this place that was called the Fun Zone and it's like,
Fun zone. Okay.
you call it okay, I don't it depends. I guess they had different names for it, but there was one called the Discovery Zone when I was growing up. That was like it's this they just take a giant open area in some strip mall or in some, like, shopping
Yeah,
center,
yeah.
and they fill the entire area with, like, the, like, tunnels and slides and ball pits and, like, rope
Mm,
swings and all this like, it's just you walk in and it's from wall to wall is just this, like, jungle Jimmy type creation that kids can, like, crawl through and explore, and, like, they literally, like, go in there and you're like, "I don't know where my kid is anymore." Like, they are so far deep down in, like, the depths of crawling through this place. It's just like we did that, and the kids had so much fun. It was so cool.
that's cool.
So that was super fun. Um, I found out also in the last couple weeks that I'm speaking at Laracon in July.
Ooh,
So
congratulations.
very
So it
excited about that.
looks like I'll
It's so
see you in
funny.
July then.
Yeah, well, what's so funny is that, like, I've been dying to talk on the show about so this is one of my topics today is, like, talking about the thing that I'm talking about at Laracon. Before I knew that my talk was accepted, I was like, "Josh, I found the idea and it's good. Like, it's
Yeah.
real good." And I was gonna explain it, and then, well, it turns out, like, I found out that I'm speaking before I got a chance to talk about, like, the idea to you, but, um I want to spend a little bit of time jumping through that. And then the other one is
Yeah.
just working on obviously like the day job, but also been like pushing a lot of stuff with solo with Aaron.
Okay.
And that has
Yeah.
been that one's been really fun to work on with Aaron. So that's about it.
I love it. What's been your most exciting thing of like working on solo? Because it's like it's a different project for you in a lot of
It,
ways.
it's so funny. What's so funny to me is that like the things that I normally share on like X, the internet, like the creative projects that I do on the side are actually like the things that I don't do as like this project that I'm doing with Aaron is actually a lot more in line with what I have spent my entire career doing.
Okay.
Like
Do you like it more?
yeah. Like I'm better at it, like it's like very much like, oh, this is like the sweet spot. This is where I shine. I'm working on this like developer tool and trying to think through like the user experience and the design of it and like how users are going to like flow through it and also
Yeah.
make it look really good and feel really good too. So like it's like the perfect design engineering like
Collab.
project. And working with Aaron on it is awesome because like like I know he's a content guy. Like Aaron Francis, if anyone asks what Aaron Francis does, they're going to say like he does courses and he like is a content guy. But the reality is that before Aaron was good at any of those things, like Aaron's just a really good engineer and just like a really good like product and like entrepreneur, product minded type individual. And like it shows in like how he's approaching and building solo. So it's been
Mm.
like really fun getting to like work with him on that and get kind of behind the scenes on like how he's thinking through growing solo. So pretty
Yeah.
fun, pretty fun. Also, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. I'm hoping the trend continues this year. I don't have enough reps under my belt to like know if this is actually the case. Last year went really well, and I'm hoping that my two talks this year are the same. That I'm able to bring like the same level of quality to both of them, even though one of them is a lot softer of a talk
Mm.
than the other talks that I've done so far.
Do you think you're gonna prefer, or have you preferred in the past, the softer talks or the technical talks?
We'll find out like this month. So
Yeah.
like React Miami, my talk is about like hiring, and it is all like extremely like my talk at Laracon last year had a very technical first half and then a very soft second half.
Yeah.
And so nope, 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 nope.
Open,
Uh,
open, open, open.
and so this one, like I enjoyed the second half probably more than the technical side of it from it. Like it's more, I think it's more fun to present a soft talk
Yeah.
because you get to be more passionate about it. The technical side of things is fun from the sense that like, oh, I just have to speak about like I just have to show something really cool. So like
Mm.
there's a better reaction. Like it's easier to know if this is gonna work or not on a technical talk because it's like, well, I know that the technical stuff of this is right and it's interesting. And like it's noteworthy. Like it's something that people will look at and be like, wow, that's like cool that he was able to build it and can share how he built it. The
Yeah.
soft talk's hard because you don't know how well the opinion that you have is gonna like land or resonate with the audience. So
Mm.
that's like the thing I'm most nervous about. Um, oh, sweet. All right, Evan. What's up, Evan? I went to high
Evan.
school with Evan. We,
Nice.
I remember in maybe it was eighth grade or ninth grade. Uh, I would go over to his house and we would play Ninja Turtles, the video game on I think it was like PlayStation. We would play the
Okay.
Ninja Turtles PlayStation game, and Evan knew how to make pancakes from scratch, and he would make pancakes, and we would have
Ooh.
pancakes and play Ninja Turtles, and it was like some of my best memories growing up. What's up, Evan? Hope you're doing well.
When you are, in junior high, high school, or younger, and you know how to make something, like cook
Dude,
something, it is a game changer.
game changer. Like what?
You're also like you're probably like the coolest person in your friend group too.
Absolutely. Like if you cared enough to like figure out how to cook
Oh
something,
yeah.
you're just blowing the minds of all your friends. Like, how do you know how to use anything in the kitchen? That's wild. Like
Yeah.
that is
Even
so
if this is gonna sound silly, but this is why we're on the Riff and Refine show. And this is why it's our show and not everyone else's. But like, even if you have like something small that's like a recipe that
Mhm.
you're like, oh, like I try, like, you put one thing together with another thing, all of a sudden you're going to be known for that thing. So here's the thing that I was known for in junior high.
Oh, please shoot.
I would
Please share with
call,
us.
so like everyone likes Lego, like Eggo waffles, right?
Mhm.
So what I would do is I would toast the waffles first to get them crispy.
Mhm. Mhm.
Then I would microwave them for about 10 seconds. And I found that they would still crispy, but enough that I could fold them. So then I would fold them over like the taco folds that we had, like they were metal taco folds. I would put
Did
them
you
in the
grow up in Arizona?
broiler.
Are you from
I grew
Arizona?
I grew up in Arizona. Yeah.
So, okay, that makes sense why you had taco folds at home. Most people don't just have taco folds sitting
Yeah.
around. Like,
Yeah,
that's the most
we just had
Arizona
some
thing
metal
I've ever
taco folds, but they were so that you could put like tortillas over and you could put them in the oven. So
Yep.
I put the Eggo waffles over and put them in the oven. And I would do this for if I could make like a bunch of them at a time. But then you put a little scoop of whipped cream in the middle with some
Mm,
chocolate chips,
okay.
enough to where like it's
Mhm.
still like a crunchy chocolate chip, but it's melted enough too, and
Starting
then
to
some
melt a little
syrup.
bit.
So I called it
Oh,
like a
dude.
choco taco, but there's like no ice cream kind of thing. So like
Choco
it,
ta I bet that was, like, yeah, that is, like, 100% the most brandable junior high school thing I've ever heard. Like, "We're
oh
going
yeah,
to Josh's, we're getting Choco Tacos."
we're making so it was like the perfect like after like after soccer dessert kind of thing. You just like
Yes. That's
would make
actually
a
gonna
whole
be our
bunch of
first
Eggo
print on my
waffles.
t-shirt is I'm gonna make, like, a taco like, a waffle taco illustration, it's gonna say Choco Taco on the shirt.
Yeah, I'm down for it. Down for it. I love it.
Awesome.
All right,
We need to get some merch for sure. Alright, let's jump into our topics.
we would have
We've
some sick
blabbered
merch.
for already 30 minutes about just fun stuff, which I love it. Chat, y'all been popping off today. Been loving having y'all comment.
I know it's crazy. I got a topic for us. So
Alright.
this is
Yeah,
what I'm thinking of. Like as we all know, like I feel like both myself and Will are very like entrepreneur minded, but we still have full time jobs. But at the
right.
same time, like I've been thinking, and
We
I
are
saw a
both
couple of
high agency individuals.
there we go high agency individuals. A lot of people say that with AI, there is more people saying that they are building stuff, but less
Mhm.
things getting shipped. And so here's my thought. And I don't know, and that's why I like it's a topic of conversation. Because I've seen a bunch of people say that they are spending more money now as a developer or just as like an individual. Like let's say
Mm,
as a technical person, you are
right,
spending more money now with
right.
AI,
Yep.
maybe courses you find, just products that you're trying out than
Mhm.
ever before.
Right.
But it seems like it's also harder to get people to buy your
Buy
product
your
than
stuff.
ever before.
Yeah.
So like, is it still hard? So my topic is it still hard to sell to developers? Everyone used to say developers are the hardest audience to sell to. Like if you're building solo, if like there's a couple of products I'm thinking of building that are kind of like in the almost ready to ship phase
Mhm.
that are mostly developer or content creator specific. And those
Right,
seem like to be like the two things that no one is willing to spend money for. But it
right,
also seems like we've hit this curve where now people are spending thousands of dollars a month on AI. And it's like, oh,
right.
another tool that's $30 a month. Hey, throw it on there.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Oh, I've got a lot of thoughts on this. I think my biggest opinion is that, like, it's never been hard to sell to developers
Okay.
if you're selling what developers actually wanna buy.
Got it.
And developers have always wanted to buy something that makes them better at their job
Okay.
or something that makes them more money. Loop back to the first one, things that make you better at your job make you earn more money. Like developers, like they want to buy things that they see as a path for like advancement in their career. And the reality is that like um AI and the tooling around AI right now, like the reason why people are spending so much is because of how in flux this new advancement is. So like this has happened plenty before where like developers spend money on things that will like courses that will make them better at their job,
Yeah.
component libraries so that they can like make better looking things, all this kind of stuff that has this like appearance of like making them better at their job. But there's not been anything like I will pay for hosting for like the projects that I'm working on to make me better at my job. But the AIs, I think, like, the first, but all of those, like, it's a new technology and there's not much else about it. Like, "Hey, here's the
Mm,
new thing," and it's very easy for people to build tooling on it and around it, and then for, like, the best in class things to move forward, like, to, like, the foundation under the tooling that gets built on top of it isn't changing or
Yeah.
isn't changing that much. And so like the tools that build on top of it are stable. There are not that many that like can win. I think what's so interesting about the AI thing and why people spend so much money is that like this is the first time that like the new technology is something that you have to pay for,
Yeah.
but it's not good enough on its own, and all these things on top of it that also cost money promise you that they make the underlying thing better. Like there's more promise that you can do more, make more, be better at your job. Um, but the problem is that like that underlying technology is constantly changing and moving, unlike
Mm.
before. Like I think this is the first time that like the actual underlying um, tech change or like uh, shift in the industry is so unstable and like fluid. Like things change month to month. The reason why there are so many new tools is because like the tool that you built 2 months ago is over engineered already. Like it's doing too much already. I don't need that much. Or like some new capability came out and what you built, like it's so much faster just for somebody new to spin up the next best tool to handle the current capability than for tools to like. And I think the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think there's a company who does a very very good job of this.
Mm.
Amp, I
Okay.
think, is
Yep.
a really good company for like observing the model of like how this um, is like good
Yeah.
because they are not a model company. Like they're not building models. They are just using the underlying technology. But the way that they have like approached it is they're saying like we will at no point be scared to throw out our entire product if things change out from under us.
Yeah.
And like that is how they've been able to stay as like one of the most capable like harnesses on top of like models because they're not afraid to deprecate something, even if there's like that's the thing is like you can get a ton of usage on something, um, but they will still deprecate it and like get rid of it from their product because they're like this isn't needed anymore.
Yeah.
Like the models can do this without us adding all of this extra code on top of it to try and make it do something better. Like, um, and I think that's just like so true and such an interesting model where like companies are not used to having to pivot as quickly. They're in like
Mm.
I don't know, like it's just funny. Like even products and tools, like it's not like you can have an opinion. Like the best products usually in the past were ones that had a very strong opinion on a topic and they didn't change. They were
Yep.
just stable, stuck with it for a long period of time. And like I don't think that's true. Like you've got to build the most flexible, adaptable tool that enables your users to do more. But if everything changes out from under you, you're able to like adapt. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like what do you think about the current space with everything?
Yeah. It's really interesting. And happy April, John. Good to see you here. Happy April 1st. But yeah, it's interesting because I think there's this aspect of because we understand that things are like you have to spend money to make money kind of thing. Like it's just the natural emphasis of
Sure.
tooling.
Yep.
But I think there's this aspect of like the shift becomes, I think, less about trying to find ways to uh, create products that you kind of mentioned, like they're over engineered in the sense that most of the time when someone has like, hey, I have this really good idea. Like this is how Solo started out. For example, like, I have a really good idea. I'm solving this issue for myself, and
Mhm.
then most of the time people take it way too far and be like, I want to make it so that everyone can do what I want to do,
Right.
and I want to sell it to then everyone instead of trying to find that like particular niche. And so I think there's that niche aspect that more and more developers are starting to understand is like there's a
Mhm,
reason why we spend money on Claude
mm,
and or like I should say like the general we. There's a reason why most people start to spend money on uh there's a reason why most people start to spend money on multiple different models, on multiple different uh tools and frameworks and everything like that. Why? Because they know that one thing is not going to solve all of their issues. One solution is not going to solve everything that they have. And so I think the goal is less of being able to have this one tool that solves everything that you might want to have or every issue that you
mhm,
might want to have in the future. And
mhm,
instead realizing that you're going to have to solve problems for a specific niche. I think a lot of people have talked about this in the past, like podcasts that I've listened to. Like Adam Wathan's podcast has talked about it. I know that the um I'm gonna blank on his name. Um
Give me some
uh
context, I'll help.
uh it's like it's like one of the first like bootstrappers, uh indie hackers for everyone,
Mm,
startups for everyone.
yes, Rob
Rob
Walling.
Walling. Yes, thank you. Um, he's like mentioned it before. Is like we go through these shifts, especially as technical people, especially as developers, where you have things that you want all bundled together. The
Mhm,
Salesforce effect.
the
I just
great
want
bundling.
everything to do.
Yep,
Yep. And then you go into the second shift of actually let's just
the
split it
great
out.
unbundling.
The great unbundling.
Yeah,
And I think we're back in this shift of we we're going into a shift of bundling. And I think
mhm,
AI stopped that and like, actually, no, we do need separate stuff. Let's go
right,
back into unbundling.
right. Yeah, no, I 100% agree on that point. I think that, I think it's just, like, so easy now to, like, create workflows for anyone, like, if if I'm a which like we've seen in the past, like, if you're a Laravel developer, like, PHP Storm is literally an IDE built to empower you to be a better, like, PHP developer.
Yeah.
They've got all this tooling built into it. Like you can think of like VS Code in the past as like the generic one where like you can kind of plug in anything you want. We bundle everything together, but like you don't really get the best of anything here. But there's these other tools that like give you the best of your specific language, your specific workflow. Same with like Java. Like if you're a Java person, you use another whatever the other JetBrains product is that's for Java kind of thing where like people had that. And
JStorm.
I think that will happen again. Like I think that's gonna happen again
Mm.
where like there will be there's like design to like there's Figma for designers, all this stuff. But I think there's now going to be like tools specifically for like I am a product designer who also ships code. My IDE is not going to look like an engineer who is shipping code.
Yep.
We may be doing the exact same thing where we're trying to like have code shipped to production, but people can build one like unique tooling for this specific group of people a lot
Yep.
easier. I think one other thing to consider with all of this too is the fact that I think people are starting to realize. I think they've talked about like people are going to build more, and I think that is happening. I think people
Mm.
are absolutely building more, um, and that is, but it's like personal software.
Yeah.
And I think people are getting a lot of crap for not shipping stuff, but it's like, I don't need to ship it. Like, I'm building stuff that is helping me. Like, for example, um, the other, like last week for the solo project, instead of spending like hours and hours, like hand tweaking and coding, like SVG animations, which are like
Okay.
not easy to do. Like,
Yeah.
you have to, you either like nail it and just like well, let me just try this. And if you get it, like you get it right, you get lucky and you don't do another one. I like quickly spun up with Claude like a TL draw canvas with like toggles that allowed me to like, hey, here's like my SVG. I want you to like generate a bunch of different nodes that do different types of animations for these elements. Here are the ones that I'm like specifically interested in seeing versions of. Like, I want to see one where the lines spin in orbit around like the central star. I want to see one where it looks like it's breathing. And
Mm,
like I'm able to like iterate very quickly on something that is like 100% just a throwaway project for like
yeah.
this one specific thing, which is like, hey, I have SVGs for this project and I want to quickly spin up an environment where I can like creatively explore a lot of variations and tweak them and like fork them and try them and like compare them and keep track of like my older versions of this so I can kind of see like, oh, well, this one was really good. Let me try like 6 different versions of this one. Are any of them better? Do I like them better? Like, and I'm not shipping that. Like I'm
No.
not I'm not going to try to package that up and market it and share it to somebody else. But that saved me like days of time. Like, and that is huge for like, and like this is like happening for like freelancers and people like content creators. Like Aaron's
No.
doing this too, like with his stuff. I'm sure you're doing this too, where it's just like, yeah, I'm not shipping tools, but the personal software, the ability to make a context specific, not a product, but just a context specific like environment for a problem that I have, as a way to like solve it for myself, is like such a time saver that is worth the dollars spent on like these like AI products that got me there, you know?
No. No. I love it.
But I do think that there are people who are like who thought, "Oh, well, that means there's gonna be more companies." But I think that people are, despite AI, what is not going to change is how hard it is to build a company.
Yep.
It is very easy to build a solution. It's harder to build a product, and it's even harder to build a company. Um, and I think most people like fizzle out at shipping a solution, and they never find a way to productize it and make it to where like other people find value from that solution, and then they never find out how to turn it into something that is like sustainable and brings them money.
Yep. Exactly. Hard part still stays the hard part.
Oh yeah. And like maybe like what's fun about this is that like maybe people spin up more solutions to where like people who actually had good ideas and would have been good at creating a company, like there will definitely be more people who create companies that never would have tried to before, and like some of them will find a lot of success
No.
doing that because they just didn't have the tools to get over. Like you hear this, like I think you brought up Rob Walling. A lot of his literature about indie hacking and being a bootstrapper was like, how do you get to an MVP? Like how do you build something that you can prove like the market exists and there's value there? And like there was so much about like, well, you can hire overseas, you can like learn how to code and like spend like all this time trying to do this, or you can spend more money up front and get somebody else to code it for you and get you some version that gets you like money coming in the door. Like that's gone now. Like
Yeah.
building an MVP that is not scalable or like long-term production ready is now like that part is covered. You're good. Like that is true. Where it still the exact same conversation is like just like before when you got somebody to build an MVP, like there's a very good chance that you have to like build it again the right way once you kind of find your market fit and you stop pivoting so much and you need to get rid of tech debt and scale and build better scalable software. Like that's still real, but like the MVP prove your idea phase is like
Yep.
solved in my mind.
Yep. I
All right.
100% agree.
Before we move on to our next topic, my topic is laughing. I've got a couple of
Okay.
um I've got a couple of tweets that made me like crack up today. And so I'm just going to share those and we are going to laugh about them for just a second.
There you
Um
go. I'm
so
down to laugh.
here we go. We're going to throw this on the stage. we'll get to that one in a second because that one is like a longer conversation. But this one, so I didn't realize that it was April Fool's today. Um, until I got on X this morning because I was just like, it just didn't even cross my mind. And this guy, whoever he is, um, he made this tweet that was like, they detected what and suspended my account, and like did this like fake message, and he had like the founder of Linear comment, and he was like, yeah, like this is not a good April Fool's joke, accusing a company of something close to criminal behavior, and some people won't get it's a joke, make some jokes about your own company instead. And I just LOL because I was like, dude literally got on the internet today, tried to make some joke about another company, and then had like one of the best software founders, like currently actually building a product, like comment on his stuff and just be like, yeah, dude, this is a terrible joke. Like, sorry, friend, you lost the internet today. Like, log off and like go away like that. If I had like somebody like the Linear co-founder, like one of the co-founders of Linear, like comment on my stuff and be like, this is a terrible joke, I would just be
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna go hide under a rock for a few days. Gotta go.
Oh my.
And then this is the other one. Did you see this one?
I did see this one. This one is hilarious.
This is so good. Like this is exactly what I have been wanting people to see, and I'm glad somebody did it. LOL, Jeff. That does seem like your kind of humor. I have no opinions on the joke. I just have opinions on how funny it was that like the Linear co-founder commented and was like, "This is that was a messed up thing to do." Be like, the joke is actually that you got roasted on April Fools by like somebody as high leveled as the Linear founder. All right, I like this because not because I like want people to pick on anybody.
Yeah.
Um, like I don't think this should be a thing where people go around and like pick people apart for like how they built things or anything. But I do think that this carries like a really important message, which was like Gary, founder or not founder, but like fellow at YC or whatever, who kind of like helps run YC. He has been like going on and on about like how much agentic programming and engineering that he's doing, and talking about like lines of code that he's
Yeah.
shipping and all this kind of stuff. And so this guy, whoever he is, audited his website and kind of tried to break down like what the output, like what the outcome of this engineering is. And it's bad. It's very bad. Like he talks about how like the homepage ships 28 test files in the source code that gets shipped to the browser. Um, there is like you can actually go and like visit each of those files. The um there are things that are like downloaded for stimulus stuff that is like not even close to anything that is being used on the page. There is 9 different or 8 different times that the logo is downloaded in different like formats. Um and then and then like the bandwidth stuff about like he's like it's just serving like uncompressed images that are just like ginormous, all this other stuff where he's just like there's a lot of just cruft that is like things that like engineers are aware of, and like part of your job as an engineer is to like, hey, if something is being done multiple times on a page for performance, we make sure that it only gets loaded one time. And so like there's just like a lot of this thread's like a really good introduction into like, hey, like don't worry everybody, like yes, AI can help you do a lot, but like you still have to be an engineer. Like you
Yeah.
cannot farm off engineering to agents for like to get like production level things. um because like even with agent code review, like the agents can only review what's in the PR. And like they don't have the yes, like you can add more context, but agents don't have the same type of background context um, that humans do, and like I've seen this time and time again, where like yes, tests for this change pass, and like all the other tests also still pass, and
Yeah.
like yes, things still functionally work, but it's also very bad. Like it's
Yeah.
just not good engineering. And it's not bad engineering in isolation, but it is bad engineering when you compare it with, the 20 past PRs that have come through and the systems that are already in place. Like this is a bad engineering solution when trying to account for everything else that is available to you in the project already. Um, and I thought that was like super like good that's
Yeah.
getting surfaced, not to pick on somebody but just to surface like, hey, like all this doom and gloom about like agents and AI and your jobs, like yes, it is fundamentally changing how we work, but
Yeah.
the reality is that like it is nowhere near what where people are trying to like praise it to be, as like some engineering job killer, like
Yep.
it's just not.
Exactly. I was talking to someone. So like I have a friend of mine who is very technical person in the sense of like he uses ChatGPT. He uses Claude, but it's not a developer. He is just someone who like can figure out things on a computer, knows what
Mhm.
network is. Like someone that could probably with Google, YouTube, and chat and AI
Yep.
figure most things out. And he was saying like, "Oh, do you think like we kind of got into not an argument, but kind of like a thing of like, okay, like what is stopping people? Like if both myself and him had the same prompt of like,
Mhm.
hey, we need to make this particular app like from
Mhm.
scratch to
Right.
code. The end result is, and we both kind of agreed, and we were kind of just talking through the implications of what that means. Is like I would probably have a better app at the end of the day because I know exactly what needs to happen, what things are breaking,
Yep.
um, what things to look out for when it's like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
it still works, but now let's think of, oh, how are people going to abuse this, and what are the edge cases that AI and even tests for the most part, or
Oh, yeah.
other things can't catch. And so I think like it's one of those things where like the tools, and why I think we both are like in favor of building personal software, because I think it sharpens that ability for us as developers to
Mhm.
then think down the road of like, hey, I actually built this one app for myself, like for you, like the SVG tool. Like, oh, if like my company, if your company needs something like that, you're like, I actually did this, and here's like some pitfalls that I came across. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
you're like that much better of a developer. I over the weekend for my church this weekend, like I built this app where it was essentially like it was using I actually use the TL Draw SDK as well,
Mm. So
and
good.
you can draw, but then it uses Laravel Reverb as a WebSocket connection, and you can see it on like our big LED screen. Like
Shut up.
people are
That is
drawing on like one website. It's just one
yeah.
page on a website, but the
Yeah.
other page shows it live.
Yeah.
And I was
Oh,
like,
that's
all of a
awesome.
sudden, because this was the first thing that I did of this stature, real time drawing. I never
Mhm.
built that before.
Right.
But I immediately started thinking of the pitfalls I need to be aware of like, okay, we probably should have some like admin tool of like if it doesn't actually clear by itself, like we should probably have a way to clear it. So it's all these
Yep.
little things that no one actually thinks of when it comes to products, when it comes to things that people are going to use outside of the one lane that you designed it for, that makes you a better developer.
Oh, man. It's so awesome that you said that because that's actually part of one of the points on my, React Miami talk on, like,
Ooh.
AI broke hiring, what now?
Yeah.
And, like, the fundamental, premise is that, like, AI broke hiring because hiring's been about trust.
Mm.
Like, hiring is always about trust. and
Yeah.
AI broke companies like by default. It has always been company trusts you by
Yeah.
default, and interviewing is kind of about sussing out if you don't meet the expectations that you have set for them. And
Yeah.
like now interviewing like because of AI, like that has now flipped. And you are like instead of being innocent until proven guilty, like you are now guilty until you can prove yourself innocent. Like you have to prove that you are a trustworthy person now.
Yeah.
Um and so like the two halves of that whole is like one, you need to be a noteworthy person. And then the
Yeah.
other half is like you need to network because like you have to have like a backlog of like proof that you are somebody who can do what you say you can do. And then the other side of it is like you need to have people who recommend that you can do what you say you can do. Um,
Yeah.
and like you can be more or less of either one of them, and they can off balance. Like you can be an only noteworthy person and not have a big network because of how noteworthy of a person you are. But that is extremely hard and extremely rare. You can also be somebody who has like a gigantic network, like you're really good at like talking to people, and you can just be like run of the mill. Like you can be good at your job, but not do anything to like show how good you're at your job. But like if you network really well, you can like get your job. But like there's some balance in there for everyone. And what you said is like one of the networking pieces of it to me. Um, that also kind of like can influence the noteworthy part, which is just like one of the best ways to like network is to like take your skill set into an adjacent area, like a engineer who like learns how to design, or a designer who learns how to like do engineering, a designer who learns more about marketing,
Yeah.
like a marketer who's like comfortable with a little bit of design or is comfortable doing sales, like an engineer who is also, like whatever, like jump into these like adjacent things because it makes you a better engineer, and you also like get to network with people who like don't have your skill set and can like they can help you and you can help them, and then next thing you know, like you've now expanded your network kind of thing. So yeah, no, I love that you shared that. That is like 100% such a valuable like technique. All right, I have one more topic. Do you have another topic?
I've got like one quick thing to show, and then like it's kind of another topic, but just like a fun thing. So like
All right.
one thing that I kind of like named the title. Usually like myself or Will names the title of the stream, and usually it's like something that we're probably going
Yeah,
to talk
I was
about.
wondering when we were going to get to this.
Well, it's April Fool's Day, but I was thinking through things is like it's similar along the lines of when I was thinking of you know it's both easier than ever to build the product, but also harder than ever to actually market it and like build something valuable. But the things that I am spending more money on as a consumer are the things that I think we need more of
Mhm.
in our culture, is things that are just fun. I think most of the time we have like stopped building like joke things, if that makes
Yep.
sense. And it's funny because I saw someone wrote on Nexus like some companies like put more time into like an April Fool's joke announcement than like their actual product, which is
That is
funny,
so true.
but also true. But like the reason why I think April Fool's Day is like a funny day is because like sometimes we forget of like how cool creativity on the internet can be, and actually valuable from like a money perspective too.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like where you're going with this.
And so this is kind of related, but like also unrelated at the same time. But this is a let me share this particular tab. This is a guitar tone pedal that I saw. Go ahead and plop this up. This is a guitar tone
Oh,
pedal that I saw.
yes. Okay, you sent this to me and it is
Yeah.
incredible.
It is essentially one pedal that can have multiple things loaded up with AI, where
Mhm.
you can say like, "Hey, I want this," and you can like essentially name your own pedal, what the sound does, how it
Mhm.
modifies it, and it's all used in AI. Like this like little playground thing. I would imagine that this is
There's
also
probably some
like,
underlying thing you could
yeah,
control
there's
with
like
it.
some dev SDK that you can probably do to play around with it. I haven't bought one yet, but like I'm seriously thinking about it. It's
That's cool.
called polyend.com
Oh, and then there's
/endless. And
just
so,
this, like, community library of things that people have put together.
yeah, like here's like, there's like community effects. And it's
I
like this thing
love
of like,
I love this.
it's
They
like,
built a product that brings people like, this is the type of product that makes, um, diehard fans
yep,
because it
diehard
gives
fans
gives
and
people a way to make it their own.
yep, and what makes communities, I think. I
Mhm.
think
Yeah,
products that make
yeah.
communities because it's like, hey, there's this like all of a sudden, you kind of see it in the so I've been playing guitar for a long time, 15 years around this point. And
Mhm,
I am not like super big into pedals and effects and even like specific guitar brands, but I
mhm,
also know that there's like specific communities, like literal even paid communities around individual pedals, around individual guitar brands, around
mhm.
individual like types of playing. And so it's like this thing
Right.
of like, if you can build something that's like fun, that is essentially just an LED screen with a way to change tone. I
Yep.
mean, obviously it is a lot more complicated than that. But for the most part, stuff
Mm.
like this was
Right.
probably possible 10 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It just made it into, like they brought it into a form factor that anyone of any technical level can participate in.
Yep. And I think when I think about like things that are like jokes or fun, this is what I'm thinking of. Is most of the time you would think if someone was to pitch something like this to a to YC or something like that, or even
Mhm.
just like any kind of VC, they'd probably
Yeah.
be like, yeah, there's no way this is gonna make money because it's something that like you have to make. So you're just giving people the thing and then they make it, or like they load up something else that someone else made. All of a sudden it's
Mhm.
like, where's the fun? Like, where's the actual business logic behind that? And so I
Right.
think where we are like moving as a society is less about things that are from a logistical standpoint making sense and more about things that bring that feel of why you liked. I think we had talked about this before when we were. I think we had talked about this before when we were talking about. I was talking about backyard baseball on my
Yes.
Switch, and we were saying like there's this fun that you have when you're like playing a game that has some nostalgia, but
Mhm.
also there's this fun that you had because like the only purpose of that was to just there wasn't no objective, there's no like in-game pricing, there's no all of that stuff. And I
Right.
think we're moving to this place where the products that we want to buy, 3D printing could be put into this label. It's less about like what's your logistical output of like, oh yeah, that's going to make my life better. And more about like, oh yeah, I had like this is how much fun I had like using this. It brought me
Yes.
joy.
Okay. I okay, so I wrote this note, down a couple weeks ago,
Ooh.
and I have no idea what it means anymore. So I have 2. One that says, "Turn bugs into features," um, and I don't know what that means anymore. So, if
Okay.
that ever comes
Turn
back to me and
bugs
I
into
figure out what I
features.
meant when I wrote down in this note, "Turn bugs into features," I'll let you
Well,
know, and we'll talk about it on a
hey,
show.
we'll just put it on a t-shirt and then that's what it was meant for.
Yeah,
Is
there we
merch
go.
idea.
And then the other one I wrote was curiosity and creativity. That's all I wrote, curiosity and creativity.
There you go.
Um, and I think that I think it's related to this, which is just like it is creativity by nature. Like good creative people are curious people.
Mm,
And I don't mean like artistically creative either. Like
yeah.
it's not always a visual medium. Like people who come up with unique engineering solutions, it's that is also a creative act, and it requires people who are like curious and willing to explore and play around with things. And
Yeah.
I think that like um I think what's interesting is that, like, one of the things that people talked about with AI so much that was like, "Oh, man, if AI would just like, hopefully, like, AI takes our jobs and we just get to do, like, art and literature and all this stuff," and, like, maybe, like, one day, like, maybe eventually in some future, we have robots who do our stuff for us and we just get to do the fun parts of life, but, like, I don't
Yeah.
think that's reality, like, I don't think that's ever gonna happen, but what I do think has happened is that, like, AI has automated a lot of the grunt work, like, a lot of the things that steal time from being able to be creative in your work,
Yeah.
it was stolen by the reality of things that need to get done in a certain timeline. And
Mm.
what AI has, like, opened the doors to is, like, once you have figured out what needs to be done, it is a lot easier to make the thing in a faster timeline. Now, like, yeah, there's still, like, review, yeah, there's still, like, making sure it's good engineering, blah, 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 but, like, what it has opened up is, like, you now have more time if your company allows it, like, if you're working in a space that allows you to do that instead of just trying to make people build more and more and more and more and more, and, like, instead of the hedonic treadmill of, like, "Oh, we can do more, then let's do more," um, it gives people space to be creative, and when
Yeah.
you are like, gives people space to be curious again.
Mm.
You know, like, you don't have this like, in my day job, I can't be curious because I'm expected to deliver this thing by this time, and so I don't need to explore a bunch of options, I need to just do something that works
Yeah.
and do it as quick as I can. And what's nice about AI is, like, okay, I can now have that cycle of exploration, of curiosity to be creative with my solutions. I
Yep.
can explore more options. I can find the better solution because I was, like, given the time and the space to be curious, to be creative with the outcomes that I'm trying to, like, solve for.
Yeah.
So anyway, that actually, like, segues into my topic.
There you go.
So I'm gonna share my screen,
Let's do it.
and this is not the topic. I just want to share this because I started designing my slides for React Miami,
Ooh. Okay.
and this is like my title slide. Um, and
A
I'm
sneak
building a
peek here.
I'm building a local app called, and I've called it Orator. That's just going to be like, I don't know if I refresh it, it's just going to do this page because of what I've done. But it's an app that I'm going to be able to, like, create slides using web technology that just has all of my slides in one app on my computer. So, like,
Okay.
there's like a list screen and I can click into a presentation, and that is like the presentation that I'm doing, and it gives me the freedom to do web-based animations and, like, interactivity on my slides themselves. So, like, surprise, somebody else built another, like, presentation tool for themselves, but I Caleb did this with his slides and his
Yep.
talk and stuff before. This is not, like, novel or new, but I've just been building it for myself, and it's been fun. It's built with Remix
There you
and,
go.
like, Remix 3 components, so that's been, like, super fun to do, and then I built in, like, what it means is, like, when I'm doing slides, with interactivity, I can use this. This is based Dial Kit by Josh Puckett. If you
Yeah, I
don't
saw
know what
that.
Dial Kit is, like, you need to go check it out. Dial Kit is incredible. It does not support Remix. It's just like a React. I think it has Svelte and Vue at this point, but it doesn't have Remix. So I just, like, pulled the library down and told AI to, like, hey, build this
Support it.
to support Remix, basically. Yeah.
Make no mistakes.
So this, for all intents and purposes, this is Dial Kit by Josh Puckett. Even I've added another feature, which is, like, when I make edits, I can click the save button and it actually saves the values in the files locally because this is
Nice.
a local app. Like, it can just go and call Electron APIs to, like, modify files as I'm, like, changing values. So, like, that's, like, super fun, because it allows me to, like, mess around with all of these like, different pieces that will change how the thing
Animation
is,
looks.
like, rendered.
Yeah.
Um, and once I find one that I, like, really like, then I can, like, press the save button and it gets, like, persisted to, like, the actual file itself.
That's sick.
So yeah, super fun. That was it. That has nothing to do with like what the topic was, but um the final topic was I want to
Let's
talk
hear it.
about my Laracon talk.
Ooh, a little sneak peek, everyone here.
Little sneak peek.
Laracon, Laracon
I was on
US.
a run.
When is
Originally,
Laracon US again?
originally my talk
Laracon.
was about the DAW. Like it was about like music APIs. Um and I was gonna like bring in like AI to it or something and say like here's how you can like bring in like Laravel AI SDK into like this fun music, like how like the browser APIs work in like fun ways that you can kind of mess around with it. But when I was thinking through like my demos and all this kind of stuff, um, I got like struck by like this bolt of lightning, which was just like, this is like way too specific. And like, it is cool,
Yeah.
but it's like the things that I want to show off with the talk was like, I really just want to tell people like, dude, synths are so cool. Here's how synths work.
Yeah.
But like nobody cares. Like you're not at Laravel, like Laracon to like learn about how synths work. And I think people would still
I
be
am.
like, wow, that's cool. But it wouldn't like it's not really a Laracon talk. So I was like, I was just on a run and I was thinking about like, well, like what should the talk actually be? Like is this a good talk? And like what I ran into was like the process. I was thinking about kind of what we talked about, which was like, how can I create an environment to like for me to make music
Mm,
um, when I don't have the most music skill? Like, how can I make a creative environment for that? And a lot of it included like AI for being able to do that. I was like, well, that's a really cool way of like bringing in music to my talk and still kind of like, and so I just kind of kept chewing on that. And I moved the music part is no longer like it could be music, but like the idea of my talk is like, what is the creative process look like these days with AI involved? Like, what is creativity
mm,
powered by AI?
yeah.
Like, what does AI enable for people to be more creative? What does that process look like? So a lot of it is like, hey, here is here is just a creative process. And I think a lot of people will be like, I think that even by itself, without the AI piece, would be extremely interesting because it is not like about how to be a designer. It's just how to be somebody who is creative, like we just talked about. Like
Yeah.
even if you're an engineer trying to figure out new solutions, like creativity is part of your work, even if it's not visual creativity. And so like the idea is that this like process, this thing for like how to be someone who is creative is agnostic to whatever the thing you're trying to do creative wise. And then the other piece is like, well, like how do you build environments for creativity with like Laravel AI SDK as like
Mm,
the tool to do that. Um,
I love it.
so that's kind of like the talk where I'm gonna like break down, hey, like here's the creative process. Here is like if what's so interesting about this is that it's like everybody's process needs to be creative. And like AI, what's so interesting to me about AI is like AI enables everyone to be creative.
Yeah.
So like how can people who before like if your job was only to be told what to do and to make that code a reality, like sorry, like your job is going to be more and more at risk. Um so like you need to now elevate another layer to be
Yeah.
somebody who helps figure out what needs to be done. And that is a creative process. So like
Neat.
I think everyone can find some value from this and I think AI helps like it's not like some mystical thing that you're creative or you're not. Like,
Mm,
no, it's just like exercises. Like there's just a process. There are reps, there are techniques, there are things that you can do to be a more creative, like to pull creativity out of your expertise and your knowledge. And
yeah.
so like that's what my talk is kind of about is like the start to finish, go from I don't know what to do to like here's the thing that is going to be done.
Yeah. No, that's pretty sick. Especially because like that feels like I've had this talk in the back burner since for like 2 years now. I just have not like been accepted with a talk at places that wanted to give this particular one. Let's
Mm,
shift it a little bit now, but like mine is um, called music as code, where
mhm.
similar sense, like I think, and I think it's the reason why we see a lot of developers. If you ask a developer if they like have either played music, just enjoy listening to music and have opinions on it, or have been in a band, there's a big overlap because I think kind of like what you're saying. I think there is like this creative aspect that we don't realize, but I think
Yeah.
AI has accentuated
Yeah. Well,
because
what's so funny is like people who are good, really good at their job and move up in companies or like find success entrepreneurially are people who have figured that out, you know?
yep,
Like,
there are people who have figured out, oh, now with AI, I need to have a little bit more opinions on what does this button like actually look like. Like or like, I think there's so many kind of we
or
talked
is
about
this the right place for the button? What
yeah,
button do we need? Like, what needs to happen for this thing to happen? Like, what do people need to do to like have this result? You know,
it's
like
coming
it's not
full.
even how does it look? It's like, what do we even do? You know, like the fundamental. You can't just let AI build stuff. You need to be able to like have strong opinions on what it needs to build, not just how it looks, but like how it works and why it works that way.
It's coming full circle to like what we talked about at the beginning, where you're like you said, there's this Venn diagram, and the people who actually like reach outside of their own little niche are the ones that are going to actually move up. Why?
Mhm.
Because all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I was like, I started building this thing, and I realized this looks like trash, so I became a better designer, and I learned how to do this, or at least how I this should not look, so I know what it should look like, kind of thing. Um, yeah, I feel like I have gotten better at design in the past year. I'm not a good designer by any means, but I've gotten better at design for every single one of things, mostly because I know what like like if I was to ask GPT 5.4 or Claude to do something, I'm like, yeah, that's trash. Like that just looks like every other AI app. Like I know what it shouldn't look like, and so I have those better opinions now.
Right, right.
Same thing with like same thing with like music. I can, even though I love using AI as a tool, even with music, a lot of people in the
Mhm.
creative world hate that opinion. But I can hear, if someone sends me something like, "Oh, this is a cool song on Spotify," I can hear if it's AI right off the bat. Like I
Oh,
feel
really?
like as developers and musicians and like people who understand like what goes into something, you
Mhm,
automatically know
mhm.
when it's doesn't have
Fake.
those opinions.
Yeah, 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 when it's missing some of the soul.
Yep.
Okay, so this is Brett. I don't what is a tracker? What tracker should I be getting into? So Brett,
Ooh,
is a buddy of mine from, Snowflake. We worked together at Crunchy as well before we got acquired. Brett is, like, really
nice.
into music too. He has like, he does a lot of
There's
electronic
the
music
overlap.
and synth related stuff. Um, Very cool. But yeah, what is a
There's
tracker?
the overlap. Yeah. What is a
There's so
tracker?
many different types of trackers. What am I tracking?
Raccoons.
Or did he try to spell tractors? Because 'Cause I'm from the South.
Oh,
You
there you
should get
go.
into tractors.
Yeah, like imagine the next Riff and Refine show. You just like live streaming
Show up
for Tractor.
I'm just into overalls, no shirt
Yeah.
under.
Like Allie, come get your man.
Oh, okay.
Like
A sampler sequencer. Okay, so it's
okay,
like a
okay,
music
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Like,
Josh, you're the more music one. You should have known that, dude.
I like
It's
maybe
probably
within the
Apple,
world of
right?
music.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe. Let's see.
Dirty Wave M8. Now I need to look up what a Dirty Wave M8 is.
Dirty Wave M8 tracker. Portable. Oh, okay, okay. So like
Okay,
it's
this is familiar now.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yes, this is okay, so this is never mind. This is exactly this is the thing that it's like a Game Boy, but it's a synth kinda
That's
thing.
so sick.
Um, there's a portable one, and, yeah, he brought it at our last offsite, when I flew out to SF at the beginning of the year. He lives in SF, and so he, like, brought it to the office and showed me all this, like, fun stuff that he was able to do with it. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like I mean, there's a bunch of
They're
bunch of
great if you
ones.
don't have rhythm like me, and they're incredibly big like you. Accurate.
Yeah. See, I don't think I've heard it called a tracker. Like I would know like drum
I think it's
track,
like
like
it's
tracker, like a
something
drum track, right?
it's like automatically got a fixed rhythm to it, and you're just
Yeah.
dropping in sounds to play at like fixed tempos.
Like I saw someone have, a drum track like that, but I saw it. Now I'm gonna try to find it, and we'll show it in the next show. But it
Yeah.
had like wooden board pieces, so it was like a drum machine, but you could
Mhm.
put a board piece
Oh, I
on
saw
to like
that.
hit
That
the
was
hit
so
the
cool.
hit the
Yes,
kick or
that
the
was
snare and
so
stuff.
cool. It's like programming a spreadsheet. That's really funny. Music for accountants.
There you go. Hey, there is probably someone
It
who
is
has
really cool.
built a synth in like Microsoft Excel or like a TI-83 calculator or
Surely
something like that.
somebody has. Somebody
Oh yeah.
has. There
There's there's
oh,
that fun
that
part
would be
again.
so that would be so cool. Okay, I've already got it, like, because it's just MIDI, right? Like,
Yeah.
just convert cells to, like, a tempo,
Yep.
and then use, like, cell colors as, like,
For different
fill
sounds.
if it's filled with red, it is this,
Yep.
kinda thing, and if it's on this row, it's this type of instrument, like
Yep.
that would actually it's just like the little board placing the pieces on the board, but it's Microsoft. Man, dang it. Now I've got to build a spreadsheet music maker. That's really funny.
Oh man. What are you
Uh,
doing this week, Will? Or
uh,
this next week? This next
this
week.
next week, a lot of work. A lot of work stuff. And I've got to bust a move on my React Miami talk. I've been letting it percolate. Um, and like I've got the whole talk done in terms of like what I'm going to be saying. So now I need to like design the slides, and then I need to practice it over and over and over. And then I need to like by practicing it realize that like, hey, I need to cut this out. I need to move this over here. I need to do this a little different. I'm missing Chris Sev because before Laracon he did like a jump on a call with all the speakers, give me
Okay.
your talk, and I will tell you like your storyline is not connecting the way it needs to. Here's some good changes to like make the story better for your talk. I like DM'd him, but X DMs are like trash, and like he probably has not seen it yet. But I was like, dude, can we do that again? Could you just let me tell you, like, say my React Miami talk to you, and you tell me all the ways that it could be better again? But yeah, I've got to practice it a bunch. Got to let Allie roast me while she listens to me say it so she can tell me what, because it's really good. I love doing talks to Allie as well because she's kind of like if somebody's not technical or is less like, if I use things that don't, a talk should be able to like be understood by anyone, even if they don't understand all the depths of the details. Like they should still be able to get the picture. And she's really
Yeah.
good at being like, you completely lost me in this section,
Yeah.
and like me be able to like clean things up that way. So
There you go.
that is what needs to happen this month. And then snowflake work is if someone is less uh anyway. Also, she like texted me. She texted she texted me and was like, "Hey, just a fact check. Uh you know that we had Davis before our 7th anniversary." So I was like, "Okay, got the numbers wrong. My bad, my bad."
You're like, oh yeah, that's
You're
that's
right. Sorry, Allie. If
we're
somebody
5 years off.
is so smart that they avoided tech at all, like my
There you
wife,
go.
then she's a really good she's a really good person to run my talk by.
Exactly. Someone who hasn't been brainwashed
There we go.
by only
She's
seeing
smarter than us.
how to build something whenever you look at a website.
Oh, Leah.
Oh yeah. Hey,
Josh, what are you up to next
that
week?
happier. My next week. So a little bit of an announcement. I pulled the trigger.
Ooh,
This is perfect for this show because I think they start building it next week.
building what?
I splurged a little bit
Oh,
and
on what?
this MIDI Pro 3 guitar.
Mm, I'm looking. I'm looking. MIDI Pro.
They make it in Ireland.
Well, oh, that looks good. Is it ROR guitars?
Yeah, that is it.
Oh, that looks so sick. All right, here's the deal. It's a write-off.
It is a write-off.
It's a write-off.
Everything's a write-off.
It's for it's for business.
And so
You are paid to handle music.
And so I'm pumped because they'll get the chance to like help me custom make it specifically for how I play, specifically for like the pieces of MIDI instruments that I want. So it's like this is like my custom guitar now.
But I was about to say, like, I can't let it slide without saying that you're ordering a MIDI guitar before you have given us your fantastic MIDI guitar performance.
I know. I'm doing things out of whack. It's one of those things where
but you probably got really into this only because you figured out what all is possible by trying to build your own.
What all is possible and what I actually want. And so now that I made Mark 1.
Now that you have actual opinions.
I made an app. Then I made Mark 2. And I'm like, okay, this still works. But now I'm missing some of like how I like to play guitar. And so now this is like that I could do it all by hand, but I want to leave it up to someone who has done this. And so this is their third version. They've done it for like 10 years.
Well, it looks sick. So
I'm excited. So I think
we'll see. Wood version, or are you getting a not wood version?
A wood version.
You're getting the natural look. It looks so sick.
Yes, I'm excited. So that's cool. Not next week, but like I'm helping next week to kind of like walk through. Hey, here's like the pieces that I want, like in terms of like how I play, and then I'm wanting to take a lot of like the software side that I built for my iPhone driven guitar, and that's going to also still be the brains of this one.
Nice.
So this guy is really cool, and we've been talking back and forth a little bit. So I'm really excited for that.
Well, cool. Well, Allie, if you're still listening, are you gonna go get Davis with Wilson, or do you want me to take Palmer and go get Davis so you can come home? Hit me up with the answer to that in chat.
Yeah, we'll just use this show as like a live text message.
Yeah, right? You know, I'm terrible at communication, so here we go.
Yeah, we'll just do it in front of 184 people. There you go.
Yeah, here we go. There you go. All right. This has been a really fun show. Glad we got back on the mics. It went a lot longer than what we usually do because we missed 2 weeks. We had a lot to talk about this time. But
there you go.
Next week, Josh is not going to be here. Oh no, I pressed the button. I fidgeted and pressed the button on my standing desk and it started moving on me. I will probably be on next week with a guest.
I love it.
An undecided, but I'll just have some like rando on and we'll just do the same thing where we just talk about whatever comes to mind.
There you go. Fantastic. Right. Well, thanks everyone for hanging out in the chat. It's been a great time, and
it was great to chat today. We'll see y'all next week.
See you, folks. See you, Jeff.